I'm your host, TJ Evans from the TJ Evans Show with another installment of Untitled Discussion. What's going on out there? Y'all do the YouTube thing and the social media thing and just like the video, subscribe to the pages, Royal Family Studios, and also drop a couple comments down below. Let's beat the algorithms and let's get these videos some views. Now, a few months ago, we did an episode on Untitled Discussion about hip-hop and where does it stand with the black community? Is it a positive thing? And now, since, I guess, the middle of this year, we've been losing hip-hop artists back and forth, and it's starting to seem like it's a trend. Is rap dangerous? Now, I'm here with my friend Chris Sagos, and we're just going to talk about it now. Neither one of us are experts, but we love hip-hop rap music. So let's talk about it. Chris, how do you feel about rap music in general? Is it, I know you love it because of the genre, but is it something that you feel is good for our people? Is it something that actually shows the culture?
I feel like that it shows the culture, number one. Number two, I also feel like that it can be uplifting at times when you're at a point where you are going through adversity, but then at the same time it can be very toxic to someone's brain that has a mindset that's not strong enough to be able to get past those points of what they're going through. Hip hop is good, hip hop is great, and it also has negative views, but it all depends on the person who's listening to the music. As a former lyricist myself, I feel like hip hop is all about the culture. It gives people a chance to see what goes on in the black community through the lens and the lyrics. But it also can be a false reality.
Think about when we were younger. Mm-hmm. When we were younger, when we gravitated towards rap music, hip hop, it was a little different than it is today. Now, not to say that there wasn't violence in the music or exploiting women in the music. Yeah, like it was there. But it was one of those things where the people who rapped the music weren't the actual individuals who were doing the things that they rapped. They were portraying the character. They were more like characters like in wrestling or something like that. Like they were acting as this individual. But now we see that the characters are real life individuals and they're the ones who are actually rapping and they're still doing the same thing that they were talking about doing in the streets before, but the only thing that's different is they're millionaires. Is that a problem?
It is, because I always thought that hip hop was set up, music period was set up to better yourself and your family's life and the people around you, and give them jobs and create opportunities. But now it's like they're getting money and they're doing the wrong things with the money. Now, I say this to say this because you said we lost rappers recently. Nipsey Hussle, God rest his soul, it's been about almost 3 years now come this summer. But Nipsey was one artist that got millions, he created a brand, got millions. After he got the millions, people in his own community, out of jealousy and envy killed him. And most of his music was helping you to either get through, he was relatable. And some of these guys is now, they're getting all this money, but they don't know how to leave the streets behind and keep pushing.
But even when you bring up Nipsey Hussle, we can see that Nipsey Hussle, he was affiliated with a gang.
Yeah,
he was actually gunned down in his own community by one of his own gang members.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna ask the question, does gang activity play a major role in rap music? Because we already see that it does. But
I say
is it actually a positive thing for us to have this representation? Because can we say that anything positive has came from gang members?
I say, Snoop, gang, Nip, but also you have to Jim Jones, Dave East is just to name a few. But to be honest,
successful individuals, yes, but is it anything successful that gang members have done in their community that you can actually be like, oh, if there was a doctor, right?
Yeah.
And they were about to do surgery, would that doctor be like, yes, I'm a Crip or I'm a Blood? Like, would you hear your doctor say that?
Hell nah.
And would you be comfortable if your doctor did that?
No.
So why do you have that reaction to it? That's the question. It's like if you can't even be just like sororities and fraternities.
Okay.
They claim their sorority or their fraternity.
Correct.
And you're still comfortable with them doing whatever they're going to be doing in the professional aspect. But it's not the same thing with gangs. So is it something that can be seen as a positive when it comes down to rap? Because we're talking about the number one export in the black community.
Look, they're pretty high with drugs.
Like we're it's literally the culture of the black community,
Yeah.
and we're literally giving people
Because it used to be jazz,
blues, music,
yeah.
music and entertainment, and
it's always been our catalyst.
we're pretty good at that.
It's being exploited though.
So would
Because if they don't exploit that, they're gonna exploit the violence and negativity and the poverty.
so if we see things like that, would you be comfortable with putting rap music, especially in today's time? Would you be comfortable putting that on the same regards as blues or jazz or something like that? Because this is what we're exporting as a culture. We're showing people that this is what we are. We kill our brothers and all this stuff like that. Like, is that something that is?
Because I'm an extreme lover of jazz. My grandfather's a jazz musician, so I grew up in the industry on that level. I wouldn't put it in that same category with R&B and jazz, because those during those times, you never really heard about people getting a lot of money and killing each other in the black community.
Or
You heard about drugs in that industry, especially in R&B during the funk and disco era and things like that. Like my grandparents' close friend, Mr. B of Figure Eight, that owns Figure Eight off of Campbellton. He owns Mr. B. Shout out to him.
or spot in Atlanta.
Yeah. So, long story short, when I had a conversation with Mr. V about 2 weeks ago, him and my granddad, all of their friends, they was explaining to me back then they could do a line of coke, go hit the stage where nobody gets shot in the club or in the parking lot. Now, I don't know these young rappers too well personally, but I know that the young man that got killed in Buckhead from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He got his, making his money, doing what he do. And he's down here partying. They shoot him up, kill him. You know what I'm saying? And there's people that come from his own neighborhood that comes down here, and he's became a millionaire courtesy of Lil Durk.
Yeah.
So,
you're talking about the King Von situation.
Yeah. I didn't know his music or him that well.
I mean, again, he was another talented young man, but even saying that, like,
when you get money, and Chicago is a dangerous place, like for violence and guns. I mean, violence and gangs, and it's a crab in the barrel mentality. If you think about it, the equivalence of Chicago is Charleston, South Carolina. And I've been to Charleston, and I've been to there. And when I say the crab in the barrel mentality of once you make it out and you're doing music and all that, look at what happened to Camouflage down in Savannah years back. Camouflage wasn't talking about hitting nobody or robbing nobody in his records. They shot this man while he was holding his baby outside a recording studio in Savannah.
And that's tragic, because especially if he's not talking about it in his music, so he's not portraying himself. He's not portraying himself to be that individual.
No.
But yet now we have artists that's portraying themselves to be that individual. Me, I was a fan of King Von's music, but even in his music, he was portraying this character, this image of a person who's violent.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing about it. When you're talking about you're portraying yourself to be violent, number one, this dude walks around with a lot of jewelry on with no bulletproof vest. We've seen this story play out before, but the difference is the person that played the story out with the jewelry on and got shot up and still living and telling it is 50 Cent.
I mean, a lot of individuals go through that because, but again, that's what I'm saying. With rap music, it seems like it's more of a contact sport. Like these individuals, they're actors, or they were supposed to be actors, but now it's like saying that individuals see Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone on the street and start shooting at them or something like that, because these individuals are not even seen as just entertainers. They're seen as the the hardcore belt that individuals got in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like you can get it anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
So
it's
now,
like what the WWE calls now the 24/7 titles.
yeah.
Like
So
that.
it's like that with rappers, and is that something that we can actually say is a positive because it's a detriment to society.
It's not positive because of the simple fact you gotta look at it like, okay, with a lot of these guys, they use the term real so much, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, oh, I'm a real nigga, I'm a real gangster, I'm a real hitter, I'm a real blood, I'm a real crip, I'm a real GD Vice Lord, whatever. Right? So, long story short, these guys use that philosophy, but when it's lights on and the camera's rolling, and I mean real life cameras, we ain't talking about the scripted shit.
Yeah.
You don't know how to deal with the bullets ain't got no names.
Exactly.
It really don't. You know what I'm saying? We could be sitting right here. We're sitting right here in Georgia shooting, right now shooting this episode, and we don't have no affiliation. But some young niggas want to just be stupid. We can't control what comes on. When that camera roll with that gun, them bullets flying, you got family in this building. You got me. I'm trying to make it back to my people.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to grow and do things as people, as men, and raise our families. We don't have time for the ignorance. A lot of times these young guys, they get on camera, they pretend, they talk about, I listen to that Spot 'em, what's the dude?
The Spot 'em got him?
Yeah, Spot 'em got him with beatbox. I love the song. I think the beat is dope.
Oh, like the music is really good, especially when you're working out and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's good because we was talking about the baby. The other day he was talking about the baby.
Yeah.
Now, I love the baby.
I play it in the gym all the time.
Right, the baby, but if you ever listen to him off the camera, when he's actually not rapping and he's doing an interview, the brother is articulate.
Yeah.
Some of these guys don't have media training.
Yeah.
A
lot of them don't because the AR thing is dead, and that's another thing too.
Yeah,
because
artist repertoire.
The
shout out to my cousin KP, man.
The difference that we see from the past generation. This past generation, they had to go through media training and stuff like that. They don't have that anymore. Especially with the internet popping like it is, like social media, you can get famous on social media really easy.
Yeah.
So
it's a show with MC Light that comes on All Black, which used to be UNC network.
Mm-hmm.
You remember they used to have the headquarters over by College Park train station in the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the Georgia World International Congress Center, whatever you want to call it. But long story short, MC Light got a TV show now, a sitcom. So the young lady that's playing her niece, she's an Instagram rapper. MC Light is playing a fictional version of herself as a different name, but she was like, yo, that's not how you gonna get on. That's not how you gonna get respect. Then the crazy part is her label drops her, bring her back in as a senior vice president of A&R. They want her to bring her niece on because the label head sees her niece that how many followers she got on social media. Yeah. So to support your point is, it's not what it used to be. I remember me, our good friend Quadarius, you know what I'm saying, and our good friend Chris, we was in a small little group at one time. This was like high school. And we was trying to get signed. I had connections over at Bad Boy South, and I had connections at Block Entertainment, and I had connections at Camp. So I was trying to get us a deal. Long story short, we had to go either audition over the phone, go see these people in person, or they had to catch us at a showcase or a talent show. Or we had to have money to build a buzz in the street, whether it was street money or whatever. These young dudes, I'm gonna drop this, create a little dance challenge,
but it's because
and then take off.
But it's because they're able to do it. So
right.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
part of the whole. It's part of the problem. There's a lot of things that add on to the problem, which is rap music today, because one of the things is social media. Right. A lot of these individuals, especially let's say these individuals actually do have criminal ties. Mm-hmm. They're able to speak from jail. They're able to talk from prison and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, if they're portraying street individuals, and one of the guys who I listen to on the internet is Charleston White. A lot of people don't like Charleston White. I don't know if you heard him.
I've seen some of his interviews with Vlad and No Jumper, but I don't know of him. I don't know what he's about. I really don't.
Okay. Well, he's against gangs. He makes that perfectly clear. He's like totally against gangs, period. And he fights for children. Like he's.
I'm sorry. When you say his name and it's just clicking in my brain, y'all gotta excuse me. I ain't slow. But certain stuff, I think from a comical standpoint, and that name alone just screamed that he was a nigga that got his ass whooped back in the day.
I mean, that's between you and him. But other than that, like I watch a lot of his interviews, and he's touching on a lot of things that presses a couple of buttons.
It does.
And
You heard about the guy named 55 Crip?
Yeah, on Crip Mac. Yeah, like I've heard. Like
the tat on his face. I'm looking at him like, bro, you fucking 45.
But it's part of the whole social media thing and the image. A lot of these people are able to do this, but what I'm saying is with Charleston White, he is pretty much adamant against gangs, and he's talking about rappers, especially with rappers who are in gangs, and they're promoting this lifestyle.
Okay.
And
look at Chris Brown. Even though he's not a technical rapper, he's a singer, but he's affiliated with Blood.
But I mean, you can take a lot of them, but let's just say.
But it seems like gangs are now becoming. It's kind of like being an honorary member of a fraternity or sorority.
But it's not, because we just already talked about how you wouldn't let somebody who just claims to be Crip or Blood just operate on you. So there's nothing cool about it in that perspective. But let's just say what he's speaking about is like the character. These individuals aren't playing characters anymore.
Nah.
And when you look at rap, the people who are actually getting into gangster stuff are the ones